Well, today is the Canadian Death Race, a 118-kilometre race starting and finishing in Grande Cache in northern Alberta. Now, I've done this race 3 times, finished twice and did a DNF. And every time I've done it, Mount Hamel has taken me down. So today I'm going to be going up Mount Hamel on my own terms. I'm just going to run leg 4 of the race to see how I get on and chase away some of those ghosts that have been haunting me for the past 3 attempts. This leg 4 starts along the roadside from the transition area, and having run along the ditch for a little about half a mile, we then just turn right here and start heading up the mountainside. Now this leg is around about 35 kilometres. The elevation all comes at the very beginning. It's like 2 really steep climbs up Mount Hamel, but the views up the top are so worth it. And Mount Hamel itself stands at around about 7,500 feet, and it is one of the highlights of this particular route. So the climbing started, and this is that first section that kind of saps your energy before the more rocky ascent up the mountain. And I just want to make it clear that I'm not actually racing today. I am just doing this purely just for fun. I'm slightly ahead of the leaders at the moment, so I suspect that I will be passed by the lead men and the relay runners pretty soon. They're about 10 or 15 minutes behind me. Every time I've done this race, as I say, Mount Hamel has kicked my butt. Vomiting, just a complete lack of energy, and I've really struggled on this leg. And I think psychologically it sets some of those, to be dramatic, those mental scars. So I just thought today, if I can come up here, make some happy memories, maybe if I decide to do the Canadian Death Race again, I'll have different memories of this particular leg. Now that's the kind of thing that makes me jump when you're in bear country. That's not funny. Well, it is kind of. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you can see that guy there. I think he's the lead runner or the lead relay runner. It makes me feel better knowing that there's people not too far behind me now. And as I say, hopefully I'll catch some of those lead runners up here. I've just gone through 2 miles of this climb. It's taken me about 40 minutes so far. I've been passed by one other person. He was a relay runner. I can hear some shouting behind, so I'm guessing there's a few others that have already started this climb. I think it's about another mile and a half to where the runners will reach their first checkpoint on this leg. I certainly remember all of this. It's very overgrown this year. I guess all the rain earlier on in the season and then the warmer weather since then has made a huge difference. So very, very pretty. Woo!
My ATV is so wrecked.
Oh, it looks good though. Don't hit me, will you? What have you done?
Oh my god.
Oh.
You're crushing it.
I'm not racing. I'm not racing. Hamel beats me every time. So I've come up today to make better memories. And I'll be back next year to tackle it.
I love you for that.
So
fun.
It's killing me.
Enjoy.
I will do. I don't want to hold you up because I know you're a busy guy.
I gotta get this down the mountain. Oh my goodness.
Good to see you. Take care.
Take care. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. The first year I did the death race, and this is the bit where I was completely flaking, lacking in energy, and really struggling. And I do believe the checkpoint is just up here. And I remember sitting there for about half an hour trying to get some fluids and food into me to give me some energy before I did that final climb up to the top of Mount Hamell and the summit. But definitely that first couple of miles, actually yeah, it's 3 miles, is a really tough climb. And then when you actually come out into the open, it's a fantastic view. And there's the checkpoint. Now I should point out that because I'm not racing today, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to be using the checkpoints or the aid stations. I've got 5 litres of fluids I'm carrying with me and all my own supplies for today, because the food and water at these checkpoints is for the racers, not for people just out for a stroll like me. Alrighty. Hey! One of the things that's absolutely awesome I've noticed since doing these races over here in Canada is just how amazing all the volunteers are at the races. And you know, some of these mountain races, the volunteers are out at these remote locations and they stand in here sometimes in all sorts of weather, and they always have a smile. They're always very welcoming, and they're absolutely pretty awesome. Having some 7 Summit snacks here. Chocolate is amazing. You see, I don't know if you can see, this is where we're heading up here. We're a forestry road, and then the next bit of climbing starts. There's another runner just come up behind me, so that's good news. There's definitely some runners moving really well. One of the hard things with this leg is that it's over the halfway point of the race, and it's sometimes mid-afternoon, early evening when people are coming up here, the heat of the day, and you can be quite exposed, so you do feel that heat. It is quite hot up here, but the good news is I'm actually feeling pretty good today, which is just what I needed. And that was, of course, the purpose for me coming up here today. The state of mind really does have a huge impact on those memories you have. And this section, between that last checkpoint and the next, I think it took me a good hour and a half or something crazy last year. I really was struggling on this stretch. But today, I seem to have done it within, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour. I know there's a little bit more of a climb up here, but it's interesting how that negative memory or that negative experience made me think, oh my gosh, this goes on forever. But actually today, it's not too bad at all. So it's actually quite enjoyable. One of the other things you don't get a chance to do during a race is just to stop and admire the environment that you're running through. I mean, gorgeous views. Well, that's the final climb up to Hamel just ahead. I think the second checkpoint is just around the corner. I've been going just over 2 hours and I'm currently at 5.5 miles, so definitely my quickest descent, I think. And this is a point last year where I had to lie down for about half an hour before I got moving again. And I contemplated DNF, but I didn't. Hey Andy, I'm not racing. I'm not racing.
Out here, come up to see us?
Of course.
Started down at 400?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where the views really open up, getting out to the above the tree line. All these flowers are beautiful. Look at those views. So this is the last stretch. You can see the switchbacks going up the mountainside. I can see the chap that overtook me a wee while ago just there. He's moving well still. I think this mountain here, I think that might be Flood. And that's another mountain. That's one of the other mountain summits that you have to climb on the Canadian Death Race. And it drops down into town from there. And then you run along the river. And then you can see the industrial area just there beside the river. And then you run along the road a wee while until you start this climb up Hamel. Let's say I've done the Canadian Death Race 3 times. My first time was back in 2019 and I didn't know the course. I hadn't got a clue what to expect. We'd only just recently moved back to Canada and I thought, hey, everybody raves about this race, let's go and do it. And I came and I finished in 18 hours 32 minutes. Ow! Rock just flew up and hit my ankle. There's a couple more runners close behind just there, looking smooth on this climb. I feel really bad because some of them I think I'm racing today, and I have to make it clear that I'm just out here on a leisurely stroll, hike, jog, whatever you want to call it. All right, so we should go along the ridge. Woohoo! So there you go. That is the summit of Hamel, and I think that's the first time ever I've made it up here without puking, without feeling lightheaded or faint, and I have to say it's a great feeling. Now, one of the novelty things about the death race is that you have to collect a coin. The idea being that there is a river crossing on leg 5, and to get the boat across the river you have to have this coin to pay Charon, which of course in mythology is the guardian of the underworld. And he's quite a nice little novelty thing, if you like, that makes this race lots of fun. And of course, if you lose that coin, you're not allowed to cross the river and you'll end up with a DNF. So what you have to do is, once you're on the summit of Hamel, you have to run across this ridge. And I'm just running across this ridge here. And at the end of the ridge here, there is a bucket where all the coins are. And everybody, once they get to the top of Hamel, has to run along here, collect their coin, put it somewhere safe so that they can carry on doing the race until they get to that river crossing at Sulphur Gates so that they can cross that smoky river. And talking of smoke, you can see that there is still smoke over there in the mountains. That's actually from the Jasper fire that's been in the news this past week, where sadly the town of Jasper has fallen victim to an out of control wildfire, and the smoke is drifting over here into Grande Cache in the area. Again, when I've done this race, this bit of a ridge seems to go on forever, but today it doesn't actually seem too bad at all. And here we have all of the prayer flags, which all have their own individual meaning. It's quite emotional seeing this. Each one of these means something personal to somebody. And I guess here's where you collect your coin. Are they all in there? I'm not going to take on because obviously I'm not racing. But that's the coin to pay Sharon. Okay, time to head back down the other side. That's pretty much most of the climbing, and now we've got a long descent down to the Beaver Dam Road. Not many climbs now, so this should be fun. Nice work, well done.
Yeah, you too.
So there's a few more runners coming through now. Most of these are relay runners, but there are some solo gents coming through now. I suspect there'll be quite a few more speedy ones now, whilst I just make my way down here. Go down below the tree line again shortly through the forest. I think it's about maybe another 10k to the next checkpoint, and that's the one where you do the Ambler loop. Another speedy runner there, making light work of this downhill, looking amazing. It really is so nice there. Everybody's just so friendly. That's what I love about the trail running community. Oh, it's definitely windy up here now. It's not cold though, it's quite refreshing. One of the other things that's really strange with this leg today is that I'm normally coming down here when it's dusk, but at the moment I think it's only about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe a little later than that. I've been going just over 3 hours, so but yeah, I'm normally preparing to get my head torch out and running through here, waiting for the wildlife to pop out. Well, normally I'm quite a reckless downhill runner, but last weekend I actually fell over on a run and I really did graze my arm pretty badly. So I'm just getting a little bit more cautious today, a little bit more steady, because I really don't want to get a double burn, a double graze on my arm. It really is quite sore still at the moment. It's only just starting to heal and I'm not willing to take the risk. So that's why I am walking a little bit more down here than what I perhaps would do normally if I were racing.
Thank you.
Great job. You're doing amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
Nice work. Well done.
Thank you.
And you can see that this is pretty bumpy. Lots of trip hazards if you're not being careful. Well, I haven't seen any more runners for about half an hour now. So, and this is a bit, this very overgrown, and this is where I get paranoid about wildlife sightings and things, and I freak myself out. So I'm kind of hoping that there's a couple that come up behind me shortly. Good news, a runner has just gone past me, so I know that there's somebody not too far ahead of me now. There's probably going to be a few more coming up behind me as well. I don't feel quite so bad now. I'm such a baby. I do remember this bottom section once we turn off being quite boggy, and there are some sections that there's quite big puddles, but otherwise there's not usually very much water on this leg, and certainly not enough water for if you need to fill up your bladders or anything like that. Just a little update on distance and time. I've now been going for just under 4 hours. I haven't stopped my watch when I've chatted to friends or done any of the videoing. I've just let my watch run through, and I am currently coming up to around about 12 miles, or what would that be? I don't know, 20k maybe, just shy of 20k. Oh, this bog is stinky. Oops. Let's go over here. Great job, well done.
You too.
It's now dusk out here. The sun is starting to set. It's actually really pretty. I don't know if you can see here. That's where we've just been. Mount Hamel. Shows you how far we've come down. And it's been a beautiful run today. Okay, so coming into the aid station for definite now. This, a couple of years ago, was where I called it a day and I DNF'd here. Okay, I'm not racing. Hello! I'm not racing. Obviously, I've just come through the Ambler aid station. I didn't see any point in doing that 5k loop. It doesn't progress me anywhere. So I've just decided to head down this road. It's going to be really weird because some of the runners that have already gone past me are probably going to come past me again down here. Obviously racing, relay runners, solo runners, all doing absolutely awesome today. I really enjoyed just taking my time, sharing this little mini adventure with you guys. I'm just heading down to the aid station now, the transition area, and going to get some nice food shortly. Well, this is the start of what is known as Beaver Dam Road. It's actually, I believe, 7 or 8k down to the transition area. So, and it is mostly downhill. So hopefully I'll make up a little bit of time here shortly. I will get running. Great job. There's Mount Hamell, and you think we've just been all along to the edge of there, all the way back and down the mountainside here. It's a really cool mountain. Oh, it's forest. This is a lot of downhill. I have a sneaky feeling that my quads are going to be very sore tomorrow. But at least it gives you a chance to pick up the pace and make up some time. This might even be a Strava PR today, if there's a segment. There's a segment on Beaver Dam. I hope so now after all this effort. It's still going down. That's the Beaver Dam Road done. That's a lot of downhill. Just got this little stretch alongside the road now, and that will be leg 4 of the Canadian Death Race. Canadian Death Race. Hamel Assault completed. Apart from that 5k. All the papping is for the true death racers, not frauds like me. I think I remember this section. We go through the river a little bit. There we go. The times I've come down here and I've got a cramp. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, it's my hands. My hands are filthy. Oops, slippy. Oh. Okay. Well, very sore. It's actually quite refreshing. I've only done the 30k. So I'm coming into the aid station now. The transition area. And this is going to make me feel really bad because everybody's going to cheer and clap, and I'm not a death racer this year and I feel really bad. Keep my back down. Fraud. So sorry everybody.